is littered with mistakes at the lower class level. You don't usually see it in the world final.
It's all the more exciting for us, Steve.
Last frame before the mid-session interval. Can John Higgins take it and share this little mini session, 2 frames all, and keep that 3-frame advantage he had at the start of this session? No, I think everyone thought it was going to slip in behind the brown, but
yeah, John can get through to the side of the reds. Of course, when you get to these final sessions of a World Championship, Dennis, Mark Selby would have come out today, set himself a little goal to win 3 of the first 4 frames. Having won the first 2, if John Higgins can win this next frame, and it's as you were, so to speak, it will be a blow to Mark Selby. And particularly when he looks back and sees the black off the spot he missed in the last frame when he looked to have it, it was mercy. So there's a lot of pressure on Mark here. If he comes out of this little mini session of 4 frames, 2 apiece, he will not be happy, and neither should he be. He's had the run of the ball, he's had the opportunities, and not taken them.
and just maybe that little situation where John kept missing and going in off the brown, and he was having a laugh with Mark and the crowd. Maybe that has just settled him down. As we see, not only a plant, but look at the kiss on the brown. Well, that's, you can't pick that shot out. He's very good at angles, but that was an amazing plant, and the kiss on the brown. Boy.
Yeah, John will be thinking it was a bit forward. The only thing, I think Mark Selby, and I've always said he's a shot maker, he didn't put his hand up and apologise, so maybe he thought there was half a chance of that red going near the pocket. But yeah, I agree with you, to get it, how many times in 100 would you knock it in?
Five. Six.
Well, the black's tied up with the 2 reds there, the pink's tied up. Mark will go straight into the pink, you would feel, and scatter them and develop not only reds and the pink, but could also even clear one of the reds away from the black. Now, how does he feel? How hard will he hit it? Pretty hard, but it did free the black, but look
11.
where it's put it. But at least he's got the pink and blue to work with.
12.
Now this will be interesting when the pink is back on its spot. Is it going to be available into any pockets? As you say, Dennis, with the black out of commission. Okay, he's got the blue bought colours, but he needs the pink as well to be available. Just going round
18.
to see if it goes into the right corner. Looks as though it will. Not necessarily will we play for the pink here, but the pink does go into the opposite corner.
19.
And he did play for it. Felt he could hold. Played it nicely. Now, no easy misses here. Full concentration.
$25. $26.
They're all covering each other now, those reds, so he needs a bit of an angle on the pink to try and come back off the cushion and disturb some. Playing it with topspin and right hand side. Yeah, he's a little bit annoyed with where he left the cue ball. It makes it very difficult to bring the reds into play, but I mean, he's got the cue power to do it.
Yeah, the only downside of this, I think, to get into the reds, he's going to have to play it with right hand side. And with a lot of pace, he's going to have to judge the throw of the side. Makes the pink missable.
Well, that tells me he's not even going to attempt that. He's going to pot the pink and looking at another very difficult plant. He'll be playing the safety shot also, but I mean, that first plant was quite incredible if he played it. This is a bit easier, but even that's difficult. So he's played to leave the plant.
Well, yeah, but
32.
Well, I'll be amazed if he plays it. It's too risky, surely, because there's no way he can guarantee it being safe. I mean, if the cue ball was going back to the ball playing the plant, I'd say okay, have a go. But I know, as I said earlier, he's a shot maker. I can't believe that this is the right shot.
And neither can he
Mark Selby.
on this
32.
occasion. Yeah, the first plant that went in, he was playing it as a shot to nothing, but as you mentioned, John, he could play that 100 times, the opening plant, and he'd be lucky to get it 5 or 6 times. In fact, it's worth another look at the opening one. I mean, takes some judgment, that. And that was a useful nudge in the brown, but it was a sort of a free shot.
Yes, and sometimes you see those sort of shots, you know you got a good angle to get back to ball. And the significant thing to me was he didn't put his hand up and apologise, which he would have done had it been totally unexpected. Well, you can't get a better length of cue ball than that. John Higgins having a look at these two reds. They're not a plant. There's a gap. It could be made. The fear I'd have, if you hit it too thick, you could cannon the red near the black. He did cannon the red near the black. Now where's the red going to go? John's turn to have a little bit of run.
Just coming up to the minute mark for thinking time here. I think he's trying to make ultra safe here, but surprised he played that shot.
Touching ball.
Oh, well, that helps. Touching ball.
Yeah, no value in going to the ball, Ken, so just come off the side cushion. Nestle up to the black would be as good as anything. You don't leave anything, and as I say, there's no advantage in going into the balk end while that red is in the balk area. You just leave an easy safety shot for your opponent.
John might be able to take that red now. And if he gets a good cue ball, he can make it quite awkward for Mark Selby. I'm just wondering if there is a possible path back down the table with a chance of taking a pot on, but he's got a lot of balls to avoid there. Yeah, can just snick this one in, avoid the black. He does pick out some terrific shots. I tried a shot like this yesterday. He was further away and he didn't reach the green and left himself in all sorts of trouble. He'll be reaching it this time.
Mark Selby won.
John have to find a red to nestle onto. Twice across. I suppose the red's near the pink. If he just landed on that, it wouldn't be too bad. The others you'd be looking for the two near the cushion, the right-hand one, to just nestle onto that. But I think he's just playing into the side of the reds here. But he doesn't want to be playing it with too much pace. Doesn't want to push one into a potable position here. Just land on it. He's looking for.
Well, can he get through to pot this red? He's having a very close look. Can he turn it over with a trace of left-hand side? It must be close. It's interesting, him. Thinks he can pot this.
Remember the great Fred Davis used to do that? You'd be sitting in your seat and you think, I've got away with this, it won't go. And then he would take ages, Fred, and then go down and knock it in and everybody would cheer.
Ooh, well, he just couldn't hit enough of it, as it turned out.
Did he play it with a little trace aside, John?
I think he did. Maybe turned it over a fraction too much.
When they're that close together, they're so awkward to judge.
But this frame, like the three before, feeding off your opponent's mistakes, you've got to punish them. And if John Higgins could go into the mid-section interval still with a three-frame advantage, after losing the first two, remember,
1.
he'll be job done. That's a chance, but I'm not going to take anything for granted here. You can feel the tension in the air. No easy shots now.
Safely in that pocket, cost him a
7.
couple of frames. He missed, well, certainly one easy pink into that pocket, but that's long gone from his memory bank.
Eight.
Played it well, but looking at John's face, I don't think he's got quite the angle he was looking for. He was looking for an angle to pot the pink and maybe run into these three reds. He's now desperately hoping that the left-hand one goes. It's tight. No, he thinks it just goes. I mean, the chances of John winning the frame at this visit, well, it's long odds for me, but
14.
he's desperate to get back in the frame points-wise. That'll be his priority at the moment. Does this red go? Boy, it's tight.
Well, he hadn't got a full pocket to go at, as you can see. Watch the red. It goes in off the left jaw of the pocket. Well judged that. And he's just looking to see if that back red of the two is available, so he must be pretty straight on the pink again. And he's got a slight angle, so he may be able to cannon them. On these lively cloths, he could force the pink and nudge the reds. So he's not too sure about those two. That was the reason he screwed back.
21.
That was a bonus to
22.
drop on that one. He's back again looking. Still not sure. We'll find out very shortly.
Well, he's convinced himself that the bottom red does go. And he was right.
28.
Oh, and he's run too far. He's just pushed that cue ball through an inch too far. Even a quarter of an inch. He's not on the pink. There you see it. So there's only a safety shot to
Green
play,
ball.
but he's reduced his arrears to only 5 points, so right back in the frame.
John Higgins. 28.
Yeah, just looking at that. If he had it over again, he'd have played a little stun there, which he could have done just to make certain the second red moved away a bit more. Head scratcher. But as I say, he's right back in the frame. Massive frame now, this.
Yeah, the yellow and brown are the target for John here. Tight on the cushion. He's got those two as snookering balls. And that's pretty good.
Thanks.
Judged perfectly. As you can see, that's all that Mark can see. There's only shot available to him, just to nestle on the right of the two reds near the cushion. I'm not sure if John would be tempted here to take this red up past the blue into the corner. He's looking at it. keeping it tight because he knows they're going to the mid-session interval and he could still have his 3-frame advantage. So no risks at the moment.
Yes, and it's not a straightforward run back to the balk end here. The red in the middle of the table. As we zoom in. May have to just play a containing safety here. I think if he played the red in the middle of the table, he'd have to avoid the 2 reds near the top cushion. So play the red up and down and try and put the cue ball near the black. That's all he could do, really.
Three longish frames. Just because of the way the ball's finished up. But it's still fascinating snooker. They're both so good in the tactical department, as we've mentioned so many times. They're brilliant safety players. John just ahead in the safety success department. Where's the red going? Where's the red? Wow. Wow. All of a sudden, the luck has turned around, as we say. It sometimes evens itself up, but what a fluke that could be, because he's on the blue and he could play the cannon onto the 2 reds, or for the single red. He finished perfect. Needs to hit this with a bit of pace. And I'd love to be able to get onto the blue, because that's
6.
the one
Yeah.
that would give you a chance of moving the 2 reds. He had to swerve around the yellow and then to flick the blue. But as I said, to get on to these 2 difficult reds, he'd have to screw back for the blue. Oh, he miscued.
Okay. 7.
At least he's potted it. He was trying to get the white somewhere near where the green is so that he could play a cannon. But that sounded, yeah.
Blue.
No, it wasn't the angle, but it's a good pot, but he could never get to the 2 reds from that position.
12.
7 points the lead now. But it's all about who gets the next chance.
John Higgins, 12.
Now, does Mark Selby take a risk and try and play a good safety here? It's risky. But he doesn't want to just roll up to them, because he'd just be handing the initiative to John, so... Well, he's put a little bit of distance between the balls, but not really put John under any pressure here. And this is the fourth frame of this session, and every one has been 20 minutes plus. Both players being extra careful, understandable. This frame now just coming over the half-hour mark. It's a long day, Dennis, isn't it?
Yeah. As I say, Mark's being ultra careful. He's trying to find a difficult spot to put John Higgins', and he's trying to keep the red safe also. You normally would just get down and play off this twice across up the table, but he's trying to get the most difficult position he can to put John in. I'm just wondering if John will take the chance now to get in behind the yellow, swing this cue ball around. As I say, at the moment both players are just trying to make sure they keep the red safe also, but
Yeah, okay.
he can go down either side of the table. The normal way would be to come off the right side of the red, but he's coming down the left side of the table as we look at it.
Okay, John.
There was not a lot to play behind going that side. I was surprised there.
It surprised me. I thought the first choice was to swing it round off 3 cushions and try and get in behind the yellow. Well, all this tipping and tapping not to leave a pot on. He's left a pot on here. Now the only thing that's concerning Mark, if he plays it plain ball, will he run into the black? Does he have to stun it to avoid the black? I think you've got to fully commit on shots like this. Could be a frame winner.
You know, I think he's got an angle on the green to pot the green and move this difficult red. It looks, well, it might not be a natural, but with a little bit of stun, and he's pretty good at this type of shot, he could pull this off, as long as he didn't double kiss the red. If he double kisses it, it'll stay there. Definitely be taking it on, that's for sure.
Green ball.
Big shot. Almost.
Yeah, and if anything, he just caught the green a fraction too thin.
4.
I think if the green was in the middle of the pocket, it'd have got the cannon perfect. Anyway, it wasn't to be, but it's an easy safety. Thin red, run the red into the black and get the cue ball back to the balk end, and you'd be unlucky not to get a snooker here. That's what he's looking at, thin red into the black. The only thing is, when the pressure's on, you're thinking, well, don't miss it on the way up and catch it on the way back. All these negative thoughts can come into your head. Got to clear your mind and play the right shot. And the right shot is thin red. Nudge it into the black. You've got the blue, the pink, the green to snooker behind. And he's played
Mark
it very
Selby,
well. Is there a gap? No gap there. Advantage Mark Selby now. With the colours all available. The age-old problem for John Higgins. Hit the red. Can you get it safe?
Well, is there a gap for John to hit the top cushion? Just about. Yeah, have to swerve it slightly. And he had. And he's played it well. He's played it very well. That's a little beauty. That's the frame that will take us to the mid-session interval. As you can see, it's the longest frame of this final so far.
He's had a good kiss on the green. Well, I think John can get through to the red. And if he can put distance. That's what you're trying to do here between cue ball and object ball. The snooker is a bonus. The snooker is the bonus.
I'm right down the shot, and I think he's got the snooker, John. He's going to have to hit the ball cushion and come back, as you can clearly see from that picture. So he's got to go between the pink and blue. And there's not much of a gap there, but I think he can just do that, which makes it more difficult to control where the red will finish up.
He's playing the swerve. Left it. He's left it. This red cuts. So here's the chance for John Higgins to go out of this mini session. Well, a little tap on the table. I don't know why. This red looks cuttable to me. He obviously doesn't fancy it if he's congratulating him. So he's playing safe.
He really wants to hit this red off two cushions. He doesn't want to hit it direct off the baulk cushion. He'd like to hit the side cushion and kick the red up the table. And the white might even come back towards the yellow and brown there. So it just depends if he judges it. And he has judged it. He needs a big bounce for the red, and he hasn't got it. This is a chance for Mark Selby, but there's a bit of pressure on this long red.
But it's the chance that he was looking for. 3 points behind. Red colour. And yellow, green and brown probably. And blue. And goes the red. Is he on the colour? Is he on the colour? Needs an angle on the blue. He's not got the angle on the blue. Needs a good shot now to get position on the yellow. You could play the blue. I mean, you could play the pink. It's whatever is going to offer you position on the yellow.
Well, that's where he'd love to get the cue ball anywhere near that circle. And he'd have to power the blue in to get right round there, or he'd have to play the pink to get there.
I think the only reason he's not playing the pink because the pink is missable. If he plays the blue, as you say, it's going to be an unbelievable shot. I think he's just going to roll the blue in and leave a more difficult yellow. Under normal circumstances, if he was a few frames in front, he'd play the pink, I'm sure. But the blue is unmissable. Now, how's he going to play it? With pace or just roll it in?
Yeah, he could never get it right round to where I had the circle up. He tried to, but it was so difficult because of the angle. That's where he was trying to get to, and he would have been absolutely perfect on the yellow, but because he was fairly straight on the blue, he was never really going to be able to get there.
Mark Selby 6.
No attempt at the pot, so John Higgins will be mighty relieved to come back to the table, and he's only 3 points behind. This frame still and truly well on.
That was about all he could do. Now, Mark Selby, if he can find the correct spot on the baulk cushion, he's got the brown, the blue and the pink to get a snooker behind. He sends the yellow up this end. Well, he could have played this better. It needs to pull up. This is a chance. He can get through to the yellow. I'm nearly certain he can see enough of it. Might be a guide if he passes the blue. And the white will head up towards the green. I don't think he'll cannon the pink. Well, he hit it thick. That's why he's cannoned the pink. Had he have potted the yellow, he would have slipped past the pink.
Yeah, well, I didn't even think he could hit that much of the pink, and I don't think John did either. But now, it all depends. The angle on the yellow. He's got to be careful. Well, looking at that angle, he's got to be careful. If he screws back too far, he could go in off in the middle pocket. So he's not going to be able to get as close to the green as he would like. That is definitely a deep screw in off to the left middle. So he's got to just judge this and leave himself a straightish blue, green, but not too close to it. That's all he could do. As you see the line, it had gone in off in the middle. So this is the big shot. 5 points the lead. Green, brown and blue to just be 1 frame behind at the mid-session interval.
The green was off its spot there.